What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with a name you know. He doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to do it anyway. Mr. Rob Van Dam. Rob, how you doing?
Yeah, dude, I'm awesome. I get to be RVD.
Yeah, that is true. You do, and you're getting to be RVD and Impact Wrestling right now. I think a lot of people maybe were surprised when you made your return this year. What led to you making the move back to Impact Wrestling?
All business, Sean. It's so good to be RVD right now, for real. Like this year's a whole new chapter in my life, and it's a bit of a comeback in life, not just with the American television. Because I've been wrestling mostly overseas for the last several years, 10 to 12 matches a year. Not looking to do more in the UK, Scotland, and in London, and Australia, and wherever, Italy, and now I moved this year from LA to Vegas. Got divorced from a long time marriage. The divorce has been going on for long time, and so it's like a new chapter. I love Las Vegas. I love my new house. I love Katie Forbes. If you haven't seen my girlfriend on Google Katie Forbes, you'll know that I'm doing well. Yeah, and I get a lot of love everywhere I go. It's like the universe is rewarding me for 30 years of being in the business, and so that's what got me back to Impact too. A talk with Impact about what I wanted to do, which is mostly just stay home unless the business, reaches a certain level to pique my interest. And so they came to that level. Everyone's talking about AEW and how they could be scaring WWE. I happen to know Impact can afford RVD, so there's something someone should be talking about too. So it was all business. I did a match. I think it was WrestleCon. Sabu and I had a tag match. And first it was just a one-off, and then Scott Demore in the office said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this other handful of matches?" Took me October, and then recently we added a few more matches, so I'll be with them till at least January, and then we'll see how it goes after that.
So I think a lot of people were under the impression that maybe you'd be finishing up at Bound for Glory. So you're with them through January, huh?
I was going to be finished at Bound for Glory, and we recently had a conversation that continued. Yeah, so you'll see RVD on TV. They must be feeling like they're getting their money's worth so far.
So, I mean, it seems like if you're agreeing to do that, especially considering the fact that you said you like to stick to 10 to 12 matches a year, and you're already almost at that since April. You're, I think, 11 since April. It seems like you're having a
Well,
good time there.
but actually, it's all about image. And between you and I, no one else is listening, right?
Right.
Um, Yeah, I think it looks like I'm way busier than I am because the impact schedule is very favorable to me. Like for instance, this week on Thursday and Friday, we're here in my town, so it's very easy travel. That doesn't happen all the time. But what's awesome is on Thursday and Friday, they'll have a month's worth of television. It's TV taping, and they'll do 2 weeks in one day, and then they'll do another 2 weeks in one day. Boom. See you next month. So it's pretty good, and I do some things outside of that, of course, because I'm a big superstar celebrity. So I do some other wrestling, some other appearances, some acting, whatever. But yeah, I've always been doing pretty well at my goal of doing less and making it mean more to the pocket, and more to everybody, more impactful, if you will.
You mentioned the Vegas TV tapings at September 5th and 6th in Las Vegas. Do you think that was just a lucky situation, or was that a circumstance of you being there and then putting a lot of stock in you?
No, this just happened to be, like over the years. Like I lived in LA for 20 years before I moved here. Every once in a while, like maybe twice a year, the WWE would come to the Staples Center, and then I was like, yes, I get to sleep in my own bed. And when you're on the road 300 days a year, little things like that go a long way. Now I'm not traveling that much, But even when I do have to travel, it's still work for me. I'm still the day of. I don't think, oh, I haven't had to travel in 20 days, so it's going to be a breeze. It's still going to be the roughest day all month where I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to the airport. But, RVD keeps us cool. I'm just sharing some counter energies that occur within.
You mentioned WWE. You made that appearance at Raw Reunion. I'm sure you've been asked about it a million times, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Were you surprised that happened, like that they gave you a call, and were you surprised that Impact signed off on it?
Yes and no. Yes, the call was a surprise, and Impact reacting the way that they did in a favorable way didn't surprise me because when I talked to them about promoting my documentary Headstrong, they were happy to do it, and they ran a trailer on their show, on the weekly TV show, and they said, hey, anything that helps you helps us. So I just assumed that's the way they would look at me being on the Raw Reunion as well.
You also mentioned the Headstrong documentary. I was there. I think it was Las Vegas with Jerry Lynn, where you all tackled a lot of issues in relation to mental health and concussions and things like that. What motivated you, obviously, besides your history and your experience with concussions, in tackling these and doing it publicly? Because it's something that still a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that it's something that I can do that not everybody is doing because of that. Same thing when I would talk about marijuana. Nobody was comfortable talking about it, and I love that I was like, dude, I'm spitting some truth at you. You won't know it for 30 years, but I know I'm helping you, not hurting you. And now everyone else is caught up. I feel like I've had so many concussions over the years, but never had problems with them. Hundreds of them, and 99% of them are gone in a few seconds. One concussion that happened right before I was filming this comedy tour. Headstrong was going to be a week of me on the road doing comedy, but I showed up with double vision, and at first I ignored it. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'll wake up fine tomorrow, but that didn't happen. And as I kept going, the movie and my life became about the concussion symptoms and getting checked out and finding out, what have I done to my brain at this point, and learning a lot more than I wanted to learn. So the Headstrong, it ended up becoming such a bigger movie. It might have been a YouTube video. Now it's like so big, but what made it important to me to talk and open up about this is everyone's reaction to that movie. Like I knew the movie was good. I was proud of it, but I had no idea that people would feel so inspired by it. And then people are saying, that one dude told me, like, face to face in a bar, said, "Hey man, your documentary changed my life." And I was like, "What? Please explain that. How did it change your life?" And he said, I figured everything you had to go through and you had to keep going and being the whole effing show, I might as well go for it. I was afraid to do something, wanted to get this job. I decided to go for it. And I was like, man, that means like so much. So then I started realizing that I really am affecting people and helping them by talking about my issues. And I go deep in the movie. I talk about the trilogy that life gave me, the marriage separation that at the time I saw as a failure. Now I see it as a win. I'm so glad that I'm at where I'm at now with Katie. But at the time, that was sad for me. I felt like I was a failure, and all I had was my dog, and then my dog died, and my dad was going down. I was like, oh no, what if my dad dies? I'm not strong enough to take this. And I told myself that story, and boom, he died. And I went into such a deep depression. But I talk about that on the movie, and I share things like that. And I'm happy to share that because people, just because I'm a superhero, people don't know they can relate to me like that. and through the movie, they realize that, and also through me talking about it more. So now I'm happy to talk about depression and talk about overcoming life's obstacles. But what made it even more personal was my friends keep killing themselves, Sean. They keep getting, and it's from concussions. It seems to be that long-term concussion damage gets them depressed, and then they kill themselves. We've already lost 25 wrestlers this year that I know of, and you know, a few of them are my friends that decided to put ropes around their neck, and that really motivated me. The movie's already out, and I said, damn, I got this platform out to continue the conversation, because that's what I want to do. That's what we have to do. People want to shut down the conversation of concussions because they're not comfortable about it, like you just said, or depression. People don't want to talk about depression. It's even related to, you know, like what's it called when you get old and you can't remember anything?
Dementia,
I got it
Alzheimer's.
Right. Thank you. I was experiencing it right there, trying to come up with the word, but it's the same. You know, they talk about stem cells being able to help with concussion damage. They talk about oxygen therapy. They talk about CBDs, CBGs. Okay, let's keep talking about it, but let's put something together and make it work, and it will help with Alzheimer's and dementia and with depression, certain areas of it, and with concussion. And it's something that I want to do because I love life. I don't want something taking over my brain and making decisions for me that I wouldn't make.
So
I don't want to tap into my friends either. I don't want to tap into any more friends either, you know?
Well, Rob, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I encourage everybody to check out the Impact tapings in Vegas. You all can find Rob Van Dam at The Real RVD on Twitter. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you. And if you're not in Vegas, you can find Impact on your TV. I know it's hard, but it's on there. It's on a channel called Pursuit on DirecTV. Yeah. Thanks, dude.